Cool. Hi guys, we're taking my first look at the HX Stomp today. As someone who's not really like a multi-effects sort of person, or has used an everything like solution kind of box sort of unit in the past, I'm kind of intrigued to see what this unit can do. I know I've just labelled it as a multi-effects, but I'm just talking about someone in the past. I've never just used floorboards. I've always used kind of stomps and switching units to kind of to get all the different sounds that I want. But sometimes I do want to strip things back a bit more, but some of the other solutions that I've tried in the past have still been kind of either too complex or have been kind of just a bit underwhelming sort of tonally as well. So yeah. Let's kind of do your best job to sell it to me. Tell me why I should get rid of all of my lovely stompers and things like that and make my life so much easier. That's what you need to do.
And yeah, the selling point of Helix or any HX Stomp, any of the Helix products, is usability. Yeah. So I'm hoping from today your challenge to me is to make this as simple and user-friendly as possible.
Normally, whenever we get anyone in the shop that says like, oh, can I try out, HX Effects or Helix, I have to go and call one of the other guys over. Please help me. So this is a video for anyone that's too scared to ask the questions and would just rule this kind of unit out just because, that you feel that, you're not ready to take this sort of step yet. As we all want our gear to get lighter, there's some gigs where you want to play straight into the PA and all that kind of stuff as well. Then obviously this unit is going to deliver the goods with that sort of thing. But we just thought we'd try and see if we can get the best tone possible, I guess, just using this just directly into the amp that I always use. We're not using any amp sims, or there's a bit of reverb on the amp, but we're just going to kind of just tweak up some nice sort of tones that I would kind of normally select, when I'm playing through, through the stuff that I normally do. So
yeah, and just getting back to your other point before, no one from our camp is saying sell your pedals, replace it with this. It's just another solution, and it's a great way to downsize or integrate this as part of the rest of your board. So I've set up something that I think is going to be fitting for your type of playing, the kind of thing that you want. Again, we're running straight into your Two-Rock. So I've set up just 4 basic effect pedals. And the first thing that puts people off multi-effects usually is these huge signal paths, hundreds of pedals. We've really just set up a really simple replacement for just a 4 pedal setup.
Okay, right. So what have we got going on each of the pedals at the moment?
We've got a compression, we've got Red Comp, which is based on the Dynacomp. We've got next Minotaur, so a clone. And we've got Tube Screamer and just a simple chorus delay.
So basically the signal chain is going from guitar here, and then that's the output effectively there. So a compressor, clon, and then the Tube Screamer.
Absolutely, yeah. Really, really simple. And then the tone from the amp mixed in.
Okay, right. So I know I'm going to sound really thick here, but 4 pedals there, 4 different sounds, 3 buttons. Help me.
All right. So I tell you what, should we bring these pedals in first so we can just hear the tone of them?
Okay, let's do that.
And then I'll start getting around some of the solutions of how we can assign this to the pedals. And just play away.
Okay, right. So this is the pure bypass. Nothing's on, is it? Yeah, cool. So it's just the bypass tone of the amp. Sweet, nice.
Yeah.
And the feel is kind of still right there as well. I didn't feel like I was playing through kind of a digital overdrive or
yeah,
anything
that's what
like
I was hoping you would say. The legacy of Helix any, HX Stomp, full helix, is that the effects and the amps should feel and sound real. Not just the sound, but they should feel real as well, because of that component level modeling that we've got.
Yeah, definitely when you put that the clon sound on it, sometimes, I've got kind of a bit of a love-hate relationship with that pedal, because sometimes I think, it's got that weird kind of, it's got a very prominent sound almost. A lot of people think a clon is just a pure clean boost, but it definitely adds something to it. And it kind of had that same thing of like sometimes where I'm like, do I love it or do I really? Do I not like it?
It's proven to you it's behaving like the real clon does.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for, like I say, from a sound perspective, but also from a feel perspective as well.
I know, it nails that.
So that sounded great. We've got those pedals all engaged, and you notice when I was dialing them in, I was turning them on one at a time by pressing this pot at the top. Of course, for immediate use, that's not realistic. And you mentioned before about getting these assigned to pedals.
Rather than, because I would always use, I guess, my pedals like singly, or I might have like when I've used a gig rig or something like that in the past, I'd have number one would put on the tube screamer, and then number two would be the tube screamer and a delay. Those two loops. That's kind of how I would look to use something like this, I guess. Is that something that you can do with this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So, level one would be just assigning these to these foot switches.
Okay.
You've got 3 foot switches. I've got this set up as a tap tempo tuner.
Okay.
We don't have to have that. We can change that in preferences. So this is the beauty of it. This is as simple as touching the side of that, go to OK, and then that is my progression, yeah. So if we play through. Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Nice and easy.
And then that's just appeared on my board, color coded as well. And this is a great feature of Helix, that is touch capacitant.
Okay.
So if we do the same with the other one, I'll let you do this one.
Okay, on this one here?
Yeah, just the side of your finger. And then we click OK.
Cool.
And it's there.
Oh, yeah, it's on there now. So, and then every time, if I found that the level was too high there, you just press save again and do the same thing again, do you? Or
yeah, if you wanted to change the level, you could change it globally.
Yeah.
And then every time you engage that pedal, of course, it's going to stay like that.
Yeah.
There is a further level of this, which I think you're hinting at now, called snapshots.
Yeah.
And snapshots are going to do that switching thing that you talked about before, where you're going to recall, three buttons that maybe the second one brings in your delay, your drive, all in one go, like a switcher. We've got a separate video coming out on the snapshots.
Yeah, you've done a full video with Jack, haven't you?
There's a full video on that. But to answer your question, that's how you do it with this. A snapshot would bring in pedals in a configuration, but also in whatever parameter you wanted to affect.
And can you introduce snapshots within what we're doing at the moment then? I think that's what
it's going to be pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
So in terms of navigation, obviously, you've got, this is edit mode, and this is showing really what that pedal is and what would be the top of the pedal, the three controls that you've got. So we'll go to this. The minute there's my stomps, and very quickly, without kind of digging into the snapshots too much, how would you want it set up? Should we have button one? Yeah,
so I would probably want perhaps just the overdrive on 1, so it would be my kind of dirty rhythm tone. So that would be the button 1 would probably actually be the tube screamer type thing. So I'd use that as the dirty rhythm tone. Yeah, that's it.
There we go, and then we just drop that back. Now, to get this to be affected by the snapshots without really going into big detail, I just turn it until it goes white, and then that's going to be affected by the snapshot.
Okay. So I would have that as my kind of dirty kind of rhythm sound.
Cool.
And then I would probably use on the second one the clon to boost the tube screamer.
Yeah, easy enough. So there we go, it's on. And gain set at...
Yeah, so it means I can do less of the tap dancing kind of sort of thing. Yeah.
It's not just about using these to call in a couple of pedals. We can set a parameter around it. Yeah, like you say, no tap dancing. And it means that these 3 foot switches are not a limitation now.
No, sure.
You can control a lot with these 3.
Yeah.
And then the third one...
I guess I would be those 2 again, but just with a delay on.
Yeah.
Sweet. So we've got those 3 there. Is there any way of adding more onto that? I know we've got this
If we wanted to have more control and you wanted to have extra foot switches.
Because I wouldn't really need much more than that.
No.
I mean, I might want to have maybe another one with perhaps a bit more gain on it, or perhaps a slightly different EQ or different level, but I literally probably have 5 different sounds that I'd probably want to recall, but most of them are combinations of other things that have been on already.
Yeah, and of course with the snapshots you could have one snapshot that's just a bit more gainy than the others. If you wanted to take a line out of the expression pedal, that gives you 4 and 5 for foot switches. Foot switches 4 and 5, and that could be an expression pedal, or it could be an additional foot switch that would give you an extra stomp mode.
Yeah, because I might want to add in a rotary or something like that, just to add in there, just to add a bit of extra kind of tonal flexibility, I guess, to some of the sounds. But I normally would use a pedal board with 5 or 6 pedals on, and I would use various combinations of those to give me all the different things that I want. I don't want it necessarily to be the full kitchen sink of it. I know a lot of people, Jack would be able to get absolutely everything out of it using all the different features, but I would probably get it set up, tweak it ever so slightly, and just get on with it.
It's returning to that point of this being simple and straightforward. Most of the conversations I have about Helix are with guys who say, I'm afraid of all of this. Yeah. I just want 1 or 2 really good sounding amps and 1 or 2 really good sounding pedals. And it's worth mentioning again that this will do the amp and cab sims as well. We're not using those today.
We've got it completely bypassed, haven't we?
Just using the effects. But if you use that for nothing else, you're still getting a lot out of the unit because it still sounds real. It's still got the component level modeling.
So it's kind of got what would be the main advantage? Why would somebody buy this over the HX effects?
The main difference is for this as a plus is it's got the amp and cab sims in as well. So everything that's in full version Helix is in here.
Because at the moment the way I'm probably using it, I'd probably be better off with the HX effects maybe.
Well, you might be, because you're going to have more foot switches. So it's horses for courses, really. It's whatever you want to use it for.
But I think the whole point is it's like it's not making any of the other kind of Helix or HX effects. It's not making that defunct, isn't it?
No, it's not making it redundant.
That's still a really
definitely
great
not.
unit as well.
And this, and we'll talk about this in the other videos, this is just going to be a great fly rig.
Yeah.
For if you're a Helix owner, you've got full version Helix. This is like a downsized, stripped down version. And if you're new to it as well, you've not got all the choices and the ins and outs and you've still got some functionality with this, but you haven't got all that choice. No. I think a few people are scared of a multi-effects because they're worried that they're going to spend most of their time knob twiddling.
Yeah, I think because you've still got the basic 3 controls that you have on a lot of overdrives, or even like basic choruses or analog delays and things like that. So,
and it's worth pointing out that we didn't really play this. We sat in the room, set this up.
Well, we just got the level, didn't we, for the video and stuff.
So it's all very instant. There's no editing, dialing, deep diving. We just dropped in the pedals, plugged it in, and then that's the instant tone.
Okay. One thing, can we try? I want to try running a kind of. We can keep the echo there, but I want to try running a fuzz, like a germanium fuzz or a fuzz face type thing into a low gain overdrive, like the Tube Screamer or something like that, and kind of just see how that responds. Yeah, so the compressor can stay kind of where it was.
Okay.
So let's put a fuzz face there.
So if we want to call up our pedals. There we go. Just press this button, scroll through, and there's our menu of distortion-based pedals.
Yep.
So there you go. That'll do, yeah?
Oh, what one's it going to be? Yeah, it'll be that one, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, yeah. Cool.
Arbitrator.
Yeah, cool.
So that's there, and then we change the tube screamer to... what do we want there?
No, we can keep the tube screamer on, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try
that.
So
we just try that to a fuzz.
Because I just wanted to try turning the tube screamer off while the fuzz is on, you know, because see if it reacts like how you know, when I run a fuzz into a clean amp, it can just sound like an absolute bag of nails sometimes, unless it's going into, you know, something that's got a bit of breakup. That's why I would often, if I'm running it with the Two-Rock, I would just have the tube screamer behind it just to kind of fill it out a little bit more. It's okay into like a rip-roaring Marshall. And obviously, if you are using the amp sims, you can simulate all that kind of stuff anyway. You don't need to have a tube screamer on in place of it.
Exactly, it'll still break up, it'll still have the headroom of a real amp.
Yeah, okay, well let's try that, see how we get on. Cleans up as well. Can we just turn the delay off? Squeeze off for us. That's impressive.
Nice.
Yeah, very good.
How does it feel?
Well, it feels right because the just so many of, you know, the simulations or you know, a lot of those kind of units just don't do the clean. So that's the volume on 3 on the guitar. On 7. On 10.
It's not just your volume that's cleaning things up. Your pick attack,
absolutely.
You know, you still got that dynamic response.
Right, let's see how it sounds without the tube screamer on now. Let's turn him off. See, better with the tube screamer on, always. Wicked. So on the tube screamer there, can you add any kind of extra tonal changes to that, like any more bass or anything like that, or is it the pure modelling from the original controls?
It's just that. It's just those 3 controls that we're gonna find, and if there was more, we could page left and right to get them. But yeah, it's effectively, it is a complete model of the original.
Okay, and could you put like an EQ block in or something like that?
Yeah, sure.
You still felt that, like when I engaged that, it was a little bit light. We could add something in maybe behind it just to add on a bit more low end.
Yeah, we'll do that. So
yeah, in space of that
what I have to do is just give a little bit more room here. So I'm just going to move these along.
Okay.
And then create a little bit of room. So maybe an EQ at the start of the chain, maybe?
No, just actually probably, after the tube screamer. So we can get rid of the fuzz and the comp. So if we go just guitar into the tube screamer and then into an EQ.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so we'll get rid of this. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just X those out for now rather than remove them. Okay. And then guitar straight into, so after the tube screamer?
Yeah, after the tube screamer.
Okay, drop this in. See how easy it is to move these around? Yeah. Okay, then we go like this, and then we'll drop in an EQ.
Is there like a low and high cut? What else is there? Yeah, just go to the 10 band graphic. Let's try that. Actually, no, go back to that simple. Let's keep things simple.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
I like that approach.
Right. Yeah. There we go. So yeah, let's pump up the low gain a little bit more. There we go. That'll be fine. that's really adding some. Yeah, can we turn that off now just so we can hear the difference? Just filling it out that little bit more.
Yeah, really.
You know, because tube screamers can just chop off too much of the bass, can't they? And I guess you could use that in conjunction with a volume boost, or I mean, some of this EQ is going to give you kind of a bit of a level boost as well. Sweet. Right, can we let's get a little bit of rotary, and perhaps I'm going to turn the reverb off on the amp there as well. So let's see if we can get a little bit of reverb and then like a rotary speaker sim on like a slow speed, something like that.
Get with this.
I've always liked what Line 6 do with the rotary sounds and stuff anyway.
What I'm going to do, just to give us a bit more space, because with this we are limited to 6 blocks.
Yeah.
Or 6 effects or amps.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm going to X out these.
Yeah.
It's quite simple to get rid of this. So we go clear block. Don't touch the clear all blocks button.
No.
I learned that the hard way.
Okay.
And go back here. And there we go, like that. Clear the block. Okay. So where do we want to drop these in?
Yeah, we can have them right after. So have the
Okay, so reverb at the end.
Yep.
And go simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice spring reverb.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but I like that better than the reverb that was coming from the amp.
I'd almost like to have two, you know, where it's where you are using this as a bit more of as an effect for a heavier level reverb.
Yeah, and it's, as I said before, it's not there to replace everything. This can work because there's a loop
let's
in
put
there.
it this way, you know, that's an amp that costs $4,500, you know, and it's certainly hasn't embarrassed itself at all, has it? Lovely.
So you can work this in as part of your pedal board as well.
No,
so you can include other pedals with this. If you've got something you just can't live without.
Yeah, sure.
So we wanted the rotary.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, modulation.
This is.
Oz noise sound. That's the one, isn't it?
Yeah, let's have that.
Is there a mix for that, or is that the? You bring that mix down. Sweet, awesome. Yeah. So, effectively, if I wanted to achieve what I want with like my 5 or 6 pedals, where I'm getting like how I used to run my gig rig was I think I had 4 presets, and then I would have one button that I could use just to turn on a solo boost. Can I do something similar with this?
Yeah, and again that would be down to the snapshots, which we're going to cover on a separate video, but sure. To do it really simply, we would go back to snapshot mode, and whatever you would affect to drive that solo boost. So
because that's all I would normally want. I might have, you know, the clean and might have like a modulation and a drive on, but sometimes I just wanted a bit more level. So rather than saving another preset on the gig rig,
just
I would,
for example, do it like this, and then from snapshot to snapshot, we would get that level boost.
Yeah. Yeah, you could probably save something right near the end, couldn't you, to give you a really big...
Yeah, exactly. And if you were running this direct into flat response or straight to the front of house, you would be able to affect with snapshots the parameters of the amp sim that's in there. So channel volume, master volume, all of this to give you that extra boost. Cool.
Excellent. Well, I think it's, I mean, you could spend hours and hours and hours going through all the different permutations and the different things that this unit can do. But I think if you're just someone that just wants to get some really good usable sounds, you know, and get them straight out of the box and just start using it, you know, I mean, and you can learn about the rest of it kind of as you go. But I think it's the sort of thing I would probably still have like a safety net of maybe having one of my favourite drives kind of just into the front of it. But you know, the more that you go on having all that flexibility and it's got the MIDI and stuff like that all on there as well, the more you can kind of do with it and really open up the all the features within there.
Yeah, I see a lot of guys just integrating this into their pedal board, and then maybe as time goes on, just...
I saw on the you know, some of the images on the actual Line 6 site, they're showing it as part of a pedal board. Yeah, so that's cool. But I would, you know, I'd be tempted to put it on the pedal board and use it with a few other of my favourite old stompers and stuff, but then have it as a board that I can go direct into the PA with as well. You know, if the amp goes down at a gig or anything like that, you're absolutely
sorted. It's a solution. It's a good backup. So you can model so many pedals. You can replace at short notice any of your favourite stomps, really, if you put in a tight spot and you want to go direct into the front.
And plus, you know, with all that extra EQs and the extra controls, you can iron out a lot of the shortcomings, I guess, of a lot of those pedals, you know, naturally have anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because things like anything with germanium diodes in, so we were playing with the Klon before, this is not going to be affected by how hot or cold the room is.
Buzzes as well and things like that are like that, aren't they? Yeah, big time, yeah. And what is this, the power supply? You know, because I'm sure some people will ask this as well. Is it just a normal 9 volt but a high draw?
Yeah, that's it. So you probably not going to want to run this off the power block that you run your other pedals.
No, sure. Okay, that's fine, but you know, it's a perfectly reasonable question that I'm sure some people will ask. So, and it's got all the normal stereo ins and outs. So could I run, I know you've got you can run 2 separate chains. Is that correct on the output?
With this you've got, and this is the simplicity of it, there's 2 separate signal paths potentially. So you could run 2 different instruments, so guitar and bass into one unit, or you could split so you've got parallel paths.
Yeah, because we kind of touched on it earlier, you know, I'm really into guys like, you know, Mike Landau and stuff.
Scott Henderson.
Yeah, those guys that do use a wet dry rig because they want to have the attack and nothing clouding up the core kind of distortion or overdrive tone. It'd be interesting to see kind of, you know, perhaps at a later date on. I know you might be doing some stuff with Jack anyway.
Yeah,
about
I think we're
kind
of
running
one of those
the speaker
now.
sims and stuff into something like the power cab. So I'm getting all the you know, tone and maybe just the overdrive from this into that, and then, you know, and then all the wobbly, wishy-washy kind of stuff, you know, out into there as well, because, you know, I guess there will still be a lot of guys, you know, have got, you know, like digital, don't really want to, you know, use something always like this into, you know, a rig like that. But if you use it with that wet dry kind of system, you're going to be able to get kind of the best of both, aren't you?
Yeah, and get that separation, kind of clarity of tone as well. Yeah, we're going to put together a whole video on that, because it's a big topic, and it's nice to hear that separately. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward, easy to use, very instant. The sound's natural. You know, it's not freaked you out.
No, not at all. No, and it feels right, and I don't look at it and think, oh, you know, I'm not even. So, but. Well, anyway, I think we've probably bored you to death with all my basic stupid questions that everyone should know before they go and plug one of these units in. But, you know, there are a lot of players out there that, you know, like me, just are so used to using kind of, you know, stomp boxes and are kind of a little bit too scared to, you know, try a Helix out. They love the idea of the full-size Helix, but it is just going to be too complex and too fully loaded, I guess. So, but with something like this, you can squeeze it onto your pedal board. You can use it you know, as basic or as kind of complex as you want. You can see, like, in comparison to the videos that they've done with Jack today, where they've really gone through a lot of the different settings, a lot of the different features, you can still just use it like having a bunch of really, really great stomp boxes in there, and plus you've got everything else in there as well. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.
Take care.